Just before the 2020 election, a letter miraculously showed up that said the Hunter Biden laptop that implicated the Biden family in a lot of crimes was completely made up. It was Russian disinformation intended to affect the elections. 51 intelligence community experts signed a letter stating that was a fact. Turns out the computer was real. We're going to tell you what all those 51 are saying now. Claire, there's a representative from New York named Claudia Tenney who has gone public with an extraordinary idea. And that is, if you remember back to 2020, just before the election, 51 intelligence connected personnel, and then I think the number ended up being like 58, signed a letter that was presented publicly, including the Congress, that said the laptop was Russian disinformation. And I'm talking about the people, FBI, CIA, NSA, White House, etc. And a lot of political pundits have come to the conclusion, but for that letter, Joe Biden would never have been elected president of the United States. Forget the shenanigans that may or may not have happened. I'm just saying that it would have literally not created enough doubt in a certain percentage of voters. And keep in mind, 40, 50,000 votes going the other way, and Trump would be finishing his second term right now, not Joe Biden finishing his first term. It was that close. Tenney said in a post the other day, see 18 U.S. Code Section 1001. It's a felony crime to make a false statement to an agent of the federal government related to a federal matter. She wants prosecution of these people who intentionally, maliciously interfered with a federal election, knowingly signing on a letter that they knew was false or should have known, or if they didn't know, had no business signing it. Republicans say that if they have control of the House, the Senate, and the White House, this is going to happen. Now, Fox News reached out to the 51 first names that were signed to see if they could get anybody to say they regretted signing the letter. And get this, nobody is sorry for that. And keep in mind, this computer that was the laptop from hell was ruled on by a judge in the Hunter Biden gun trial as legitimate, real, admissible evidence in a court of law. It's what got Hunter Biden convicted. And none of these people, and I'm talking about like Obama's director of national intelligence, James Clapper, this is old news. And I'm not sorry I signed it. Should there be an investigation and should there be repercussions for what they did?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, playing sophistry with words now that the laptop has been found 100% in a court of law, as you say, real, it is not going to help the 51 or 58. They are playing with words to say, well, we didn't say flat out that it was a Russian disinformation operation. We said it had the hallmarks of, based on our decades of long experience in counterintelligence, it bore the hallmarks of a Russian disinformation campaign. So that's what they're leaning on, you know, that, well, you know, we gave it our best shot based on our experience. Well, no, they didn't. They know perfectly well. They had possession. FBI had possession of that laptop from late 2019, full year before the elections of the fall of 2020. So they are, you know, playing games with words, and they won't back out or, you know, offer any apologies because they got what they wanted, didn't they? They succeeded in influencing apparently enough voters to vote for Joe Biden because they did not know, at least in some instances, did not know about this laptop. So I think Representative Claudia Tenney is right to call for repercussions, to call for accountability. I'm not sure that the letter of the law would find these 51 guilty of an outright falsehood. Again, sophistry. Well, it was based on our experience. We judged that it bore the whole. No, that should not cut it.
A bunch of them have hired the same lawyer who is making public statements for their group and basically saying, quote, a careful and objective reading of the document reflects that even today its content is accurate. whoa, that's really weaving truth into falsehood, because everybody knows the way the media reported what they signed. And we all read the letter. And I think it's extremely disingenuous to years later still say, yep, it was all true. Everything we said was true and we're not sorry. But
Yeah.
that's their position.
But I mean, how do they back up now? How do they backtrack now? They're caught, is what they are. They're caught in peddling a falsehood, which they knew would be interpreted exactly as intended, even if they did not flat out say this was definitely Russian disinformation. They knew that the implication of their letter statements would be taken the way it was taken, and they can't back up from that now.
Exactly. We'll see who controls the House and the Senate next cycle. Then we're going to find out what's going to happen.